right, we're back at it at the shop, and we got the right bolts. They're gonna go in those. So these are actual Cat bolts from Cat dealer. Should be pretty tough steel. They actually say Cat on them. Don't ask how much these cost. You can ask him.
Like 800 bucks. That's a catastrophe.
Yeah, yes, definitely. So, let's put them in. Let's get the axle bolted up because we got to put the wheels back on this so we can then roll this back and forth and get that back axle bolted up so we can start cutting those fenders. And ignore that weld right there. We're going to grind that down. You'll never know.
While they're putting bolts in those axles, I'm going to do some other stuff. As you can tell, I got here a PTO box, or PTO that goes on the side of the transmission. I'm kind of figuring out the gear ratio, a few other things so I can get pumps figured out, and measuring up on this transmission. But here's what I got to do. So you see this right here? This is the transmission mount that bolts right on the side. Actually goes up like this and over. What I need to do is I need to make an adapter plate so that we can weld to the frame of the tractor for this to go on. So this is what I came up with. I got some heavy duty bushings, like engine mount bushings, like these right here. And I made a template for the first one to see how well it came out. So here's a steel plate with 2 nice round holes. And then you can take your bushing and slide it on top, as you can tell. Then that mount is going to sit over on top of it, so this is going to be squished by the engine and transmission. Now what I need to do is I need to make another one of these for the transmission, so there's 2 for the back. Then I have to make 2 more for each side of the engine, which is going to be right here. I need to make one for this side and one for this side, and then I need to make another one for the front here. So total there's going to be 10 bushings that are going to support this engine, transmission, and yeah. So here's how I've decided to do this. I know, there are a lot of things going on, my brain's going crazy. I bought one of these milling tools where you can offset the bit, and then I'll come over here to my end mill and I use that to make some marks on the flat iron to know exactly how much I need to mill out. Then I'm going to take a milling bit and mill it all out, go back over there, grab that tool, put it back on here, and cut it to this right size. I wish, I really wish I had a rotating turntable that you could sit there, bolt your piece down, and just turn it and let it mill itself, but I don't have one. And I've been looking for one, just can't find one. And I'm not willing to pay that kind of money for one of those things because I'm kind of cheap. So my way of doing it, got to cut it out, then cut that out, and it's just going to take time. Oh, there's a lot going on. A lot of things going on in my mind. I'll have to explain to you guys what I've got going on up here for the next project, or the next step. And it's pretty intensive. I'm getting there. I'm figuring it out. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's mill this thing.
bro. Perfect. All right, it's tight. I might be able to get it in there without pounding it too hard. How we doing?
Yep, good.
Is that all the way?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was doing.
It's bottomed out. All right. That impacts the beast. All 8 bolts in the front are very tight. Now, I know you're supposed to really tighten from the nut side, but a couple ways the way the orientation was, you can't tighten that one from the nut because, well, the frame's in the way. And then in the back side, there was a couple spots where you couldn't get the impact underneath because it's got a brake shaft that runs the brake shoes. It's in the way on those. So technically only this is the one you could do from the nut side, but we reamed the snot out of it. So yeah, I mean that inch thick plate there was literally starting to curl, just pulling it tight. So yeah, it's a lot better than it was because the bolts that were on here, well, a bunch of them were already broke. But if you look, you can see where this axle was rocking and it was wearing off the edges of this casting here. The axle was doing this in its previous life. Now it's not doing that again, I guarantee that. Now we're about due to put the tires back on it. I know we're gonna have them off again, but we need the tires on it so that way we can roll this thing back and forth when it comes time to putting the engine and transmission in. Not permanently, but to mock up where the engine mounts are gonna go and transmission mounts. So, we want to take these covers off these planetaries first and take a peek inside. Dusty, the guy that we bought this bud from, he said he did a number of years back when he first bought this tractor. He never ran it, it wasn't running when he bought it, but he was gonna fix it up, never got to it. But he said he pulled it off, said it looked pretty good. But we're just gonna go in and inspect it. We're gonna pull the covers off, take a peek inside, see if there's anything surprising that we aren't expecting. And if it all looks good, we'll cover back up and then eventually put some good fluid in it. And then we gotta start doing the back fenders after we get the tires on. So let's take this cover off. Take long. Let's take a look.
Oop, watch your plants.
Yeah.
I'll grab some stuff. That thing just, like, pressure just went.
The cover. A little bit of a shine to it. They look pretty good just now. There's a light right around the corner, I think. Let's take a peek.
You can see a little bit of glitter, but
Yeah. There's a little bit of a shine to it.
not bad.
No, I don't see any pitting on these sprockets. I mean, this tractor only had 450 horsepower.
Right.
It wasn't like the 600 or something where it's just really got some.
I don't see anything concerning about it.
No, it looks pretty good.
I could rotate the other side.
I mean, it would be good. I'd check all the sprockets. Yeah.
Well,
if you could rotate it, that'd be awesome.
The thing is though, like if any chunks came off, here, shine it up like this. A little bit, you can see that pitting right there.
Well, remember the other one? There was like, well, that was because the bearing was going bad.
Yeah.
But can you rotate it? I'm just gonna watch just to see if there's any teeth that are, because I'll be able to see them all here. Okay, stop. Stop. Okay, that's not a. No, that's not. Okay, I thought I saw a chip out of one. Keep going. Yeah, keep going. You're just about there. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so we'll let that one drain. A little bit of glitter in there, but that's not to be expected with all the hardening iron in there and a lot of stuff that's turning. Who knows how long the oil's been in there without being changed. Let's pull this one off. We'll take a look at it. And then we'll let it drain. Go get some food and come back and then put these covers back on and then put the wheels on. That looks pretty good to me. You'd see pitting on those sprockets. Or sorry, sprocket, what am I calling sprockets for? Gears. Gears. Not sprockets, gears. You'd see pitting in them. I don't see. It looks really good. A little bit of glitter on this side too, but this oil can go back and forth between the planetaries. So it looks really good, honestly.
Yeah, there's some glitter in it.
All right, that's good. Nice to know that there's nothing really surprising in there.
Now that I made a set for the transmission, I'm gonna start working on the rear engine mounts. I'm just gonna build mounts for all of it. I think it's just the best way to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start making this. I got this one mocked up. What I gotta do is I gotta change this out to a milling bit and correct. I apologize for those that know the correct terms. My brain doesn't work very well in remembering stuff. And yeah, I struggle, but it's okay. I can make things work. So what I'm gonna do here is pull this bolt here, loosen it up, pull that out, switch it out, and then go from there. So you know, a lot of things that I think a lot. My brain just constantly goes, and I don't know why I can't get it to shut down. A lot of you guys know that I'm dyslexic. I've talked about it in the past. And when I graduated high school, I could barely read a 4-letter word. I feel that intelligence is if you apply yourself. You might not have a lot of skills. You might not be very smart. But you know what? If you apply yourself, in my opinion, I think you're intelligent. Those that have been given everything, that have not had to try, that are just naturally smart and just can naturally do those things, if you don't apply yourself, in my opinion, I don't think you're very intelligent. You know, a lot of times I feel like people want what you have, but they're not willing to go through this work, not willing to go through the struggle to get to that point of where you got, where what you have now. Like for example, this shop, you guys, a lot of you are like, man, I'd love to have a shop like that. I'd love to have all the tools and all that stuff. Man, you guys have just handed it to you. Well, yes, we've been handed a lot of things in our life and we've been had a lot of opportunities, but the difference is we've had to apply ourselves to get to the point where we are now. And it has not been an easy journey. And to be honest, all the stuff that I know, is pretty much all self-taught, learning from other people too, along the way. I didn't go to college. I didn't think I was smart enough. So I stayed here on the farm and I kept working on projects, a bunch of things. I mean, I got my hands into stuff that my parents are like, why are you doing that? I can't believe you would do something like that. Because I did that, I've gained skills and gotten myself into situations that were not smart, but I learned how to overcome them. And I think a lot of the skills that I have today is due to these big bud tractors because I've had to learn how to work on them. I apologize for those that are mechanics and that do know a lot of stuff, the correct terms. I'm learning, I'm trying to get this figured out. I'm trying to show you guys what I do and how I do it. It might be really annoying for you to watch this, but anyways, this is how I do it. Yeah, I guess it works. So I'm gonna mill those out, get this one done, and then go to the next one, and then I got a big piece to do as well.
Well, you guys are giving us suggestions as far as the tractor build here, and some have said, well, why don't you just go find a newer style cab and stick on or place it on top of the redid Big Bud? Well, we thought about that, but there's something about keeping the nostalgia, the basic tractor look of Big Bud in that era, in the middle 70s. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the mods to this cab. Actually, it's not bad on dimensions. It's not as wide as the Series 2, Series 3, but the benefit that we're going to receive is the Series 1, our small big bud that we did about 6 years ago, time lapse. You can check back on the channel and find that one that we did. We redid that cab with the interior of a Series 2. So it was the sweeping dash in the front. Anyway, so I gutted this thing so far. What it was is that we had nostalgic carpet. Let me pull a piece up here. Definitely retro of the 70s. And so that was the first thing to do, is to pull this carpet out. And of course it was foam back and glued, and the carpet came out easy. The foam was just barely stuck to the side. So as you can see, you got the glue residue left, a little caulking to seal along the edge. And so what we're going to do, I need to do, is now that I got the carpet removed from this cab, I got to cut this whole front out right here. That is old style, and it just isn't going to work because we're going to have, a number of gauges to determine how the tractor's running. And so we need real estate in the front for the gauges and other accessories. And then I got to put the AC heater system inside that area. This one did have, it was interesting how they did back then. They thought, well, let's just bring it all together. So they actually had the condenser right here in this unit. Let me go around here. So I had the condenser sitting right here. You had an exterior fan run by the hydraulics, so it's supposed to be variable, but trouble with that is when you use the hydraulics, the fan would slow down and stop, and then you'd start heating inside the cab. So anyway, and then on this side was the evaporator right here, and then this fan, and then it would blow all the air here, and then they had a ductwork grid or vents that would sort of direct it toward you, but most of it, landed right into your face. And it worked. It was great back then, but we're going to remove all this, and then we'll build that sweeping dash plate across there. And the seat that we have, we stuck it in here as a mock-up, just kind of seeing how much room we're going to have. We actually probably need to bring it back a little bit farther so that you can slide it. You have a little bit more room. It's going to be a full swivel back and forth, so you'll have probably not 180 degrees, but you'll have something of that, maybe 130, something like that as far as swivel. We might end up taking and cutting out and flipping this one piece about so much just to give it room back there to slide. I really like this bench across here. I hate to get rid of it because it's great for Kobe. He loves to sit there. He can just kind of half sit there and look out the windows because it's already up higher and there's lots of room. Also, grandkids, when they're riding, they love that area to sit. But I think we'll have to compromise some of that. And we might not go all the way. Maybe we'll just go part way. But we'll leave this as a buddy seat. And it works well. It's surprising that you have room to sit back there with a seat. So anyway, it's going to come along. There's quite a bit of work to do.
Now we're taking this front part of the skid. That's going to go on the front of the engine. Is it ready to go? Okay, he's gonna lift it up and I'll cut the bottom of it.
What?
What are you doing?
I saw it was John Deere colors. I had to come fix it for you.
Well, what's Tony Fast doing here is what I want to know.
I saw the green John Deere and yellow and figured
I actually...
that look better.
That looks a lot better.
It almost looks like a Series 3 now.
Oh, that's pretty good. At first I was all worried. I thought some hooligan was in here spraying the tractor with some paint I didn't like, but
There.
that's pretty
Another
good.
coat and be good.
Tony, you're pretty good at that. Wow. You even got, is that the genuine case can too?
It is. And what do I do with that?
Well, it's just, yeah.
It's almost Christmas time, and Rudolph.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Well, Tony Fast is here, I guess.
Just heading through.
Just never know what's going on around here. All right. Actually, wait a minute. Hang on a sec here. I have something to show you, Tony. Don't be jealous.
Hey, I brought my Welker shirt along because I was going to stop by tomorrow, not today.
I actually wore this today, not knowing Tony was coming. There, see? There's a sign.
That's awesome.
Now this front engine mount, as you can tell, here's the paint mark of the original engine. They didn't have any bushings on the front of this. I'm putting bushings. I think it'd just be smart. All engines have bushings on the front and all around. They bolted this directly to the skid, but it's not going to take that long for me to do it. So what I did here is marked out where I need to cut it, drill those out, put these in, and then when we put it inside the tractor, we'll have to lower it about a 1/2 inch to make up that difference so that the drive line will be the exact same, or drive shaft. No, it's called drive line or shaft, either or, out the back of the transmission. So we'll get that level. But now it's time for me to mill this out, and then I'll be done with this part, and then I got to clean this up a little bit, and then this will be welded directly into the tractor. We're not doing a skid. I think I've mentioned that too many times. Hey, there's a perfect camera mount right here. Yeah. Set it down, so. You guys got it? I'm gonna try to lift this thing up a little bit.
Sure, a lot more room back here now.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we got the top on. Keep going. Here we go. Okay, we got nuts. Jack's gonna go. You guys. Good.
How cool is that? Oh yeah.
This thing is heavy.
Not light.
Took a while, but we got that extra spacer we didn't need out of the back on each side. We got the axle bolted up tight with the new cat bolts. To the frame, jacked it up, it's got it on stands right now. The tires are currently hanging off the ground. They're pulling this tire off, get it out the door, pull this tire off, get it out the door, and then start doing this, which, as you can see, has already started. A bunch of the skid steer. It obviously had broken one time before, and someone welded it up really poorly. Oh my word! We'll fix that. But we're gonna cut this open anyways and pull that out. So let's get to it. All right. Okay. So, buzz, 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 all the way up to here somewhere. And buzz, 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 all the way up to there somewhere. We'll leave a little bit connected. And then flare it, make spacers, and weld her all up. It is going to be not too hard. As you can see, I did not tighten that fully. Whoops, but I will soon. How far you want to turn it?
That might be enough right there. These fenders are tighter.
So we should have left that spacer in.
No, it's pretty
No,
much
it's fine.
a handy dandy jig.
Oh, I see it's caught up there. Yeah, that works nice.
Yeah, should. It's tight.
Sweet.